Hold on 1 second. All right, and we are live. Welcome, family, to another show. I got my man Delane Isaac on today. No Reservations Podcasting. We're doing a comparison of Eastern Europe, Scandinavia versus Brazil. My brother's traveled quite a bit, and he's gonna give us some tips and some dating cues on dating a bride. So I want to welcome everybody to the show, and we're gonna be right back after this video. All right?
No matter where I go, no matter where I be. Some of them seats in, some of them front kicks in. I'm still cool in, I'm still cool. I ain't busting sweat. That's what it is. Yoga. Passport Bros. Passport Bros up.
Travelversity in the building. Shout out to my boy BMT, man. Yeah, go cop the new merch.
All right, we are back. My man Delane Isaac in the building. What's going on today, my brother?
What's happening? What's going on, man?
Man, Mr. Well-traveled in the building. I know we've been kind of back to back with these podcasts as of lately.
Oh man, I'm not mad at that, man. I appreciate that. Appreciate the opportunity, man. Yeah, I'm giving my doing a disservice to my channels. I've been traveling for 10 years and haven't been putting these stories out. So now I'm slowly putting them out. So I'm here for it now.
Yeah, man, this is gonna be a real interesting show because we're doing. I guess you want to say, is it Eastern Europe or just Europe in general versus Brazil?
If you tell, now I'm not quite sure if you tell a Scandinavian person that it's Europe, they might get upset or they might get offended, depending on who you tell it to. I'm not sure if they associate themselves with Europe because it's Scandinavia. They have like different names for it, like Scandinavia area. You would just call it like Norway, Copenhagen, Denmark, Sweden. That area is Scandinavia. So it's quite different than Europe.
Okay, so it's like a little bit of a separation. It's kind of like, would it be as extreme as North America to South America?
For example, like you would say Eastern Europe versus Western Europe, right? So you would say Germany versus Ukraine. But if you would categorize, you put a Scandinavian in that pot, they would say no. They would like, nah, we're Scandinavian. It's like a totally different thing. So it's not like North and South America. It's pretty much like South America and Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, this is like its own entity, its own space. Because they were moving a different way during the pandemic, man. Like during the pandemic, they still had their clubs up. They still were running operational, fully operational. They weren't, pinned down like we were. This is a whole their own beat of their drum, a whole different way.
Okay. I want to give a shout out to everybody that's in the room early. I got my man Iman Perry in the building. We got Trey the Man in the building. We got Iman says salute B and T. We got Kevin Johnson. He's also a member. Man, I really appreciate that. He's in the building. He says, God, I feel homesick right now. Why you feel homesick, bro? You in the States or you overseas? All right, we got Daryl in the building. He says, have you been to Serbia? If so, what are your thoughts? You been to Serbia?
Serbia? No, I haven't been to Serbia. No.
Okay.
I've never been there.
Somebody said, my man Daryl, I interviewed Daryl. We did a video interview about Kazakhstan. I hope I pronounced it right this time because they was getting on me in the chat about pronouncing it wrong. We did an interview about him, and he said Scandinavia is 1,000% Europe.
Okay.
So Stockholm is lit though, and I got my man Wojo in the building. What up, Wojo? What's good with you, my bro? He was also on the show with me maybe like 2 weeks ago. So shout out to my man Joe in the building as well. We had a great time. We've been in a few countries so far. Me and my man Wojo, Brazil and Thailand. But this is a crazy title, man, because we're doing like some extremes here: Europe and Brazil and South America. But I guess we'll start off with Europe before we get to Brazil. Like, what are some of the major things that dudes need to know about dating in Europe?
Well, I'll just say the birth of the idea of even going to Europe, as we want to call it, was I had a run-in with a Swedish girl in New York. In New York, we all know it's a melting pot. You can run into various different backgrounds, ethnicities. So I met a Swedish girl and we went out for coffee, kept it simple, and she was fighting over paying the bill for coffee. And I was like, no, I got it. And she was like, no, I got it. We were really fighting over it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna let her have it because she was very adamant about it. And at that point, that kind of put Sweden on the map. I was like, wait a minute now. Like, this is something I'm not this is not normal. I'm not used to this type of pushback. I'm trying to take someone on a date. She insisted on paying for the coffee and ice cream or whatever we did. So that's when the birth of the idea Sweden came to mind. And then I was like, you know what? I have to make that trip. So once I made that trip, the first time I've been to Scandinavia, I was gonna call Scandinavia, was Finland. And, I went there and I'll tell you right now, at the time, there wasn't too many guys traveling there. You will only see guys in the military or professional basketball players. And you'll notice them because then they would never give you love because they saw you as competition. I don't know why. Because at that time I'm still skinny, but I was much skinnier. And I'm like, nah, I'm not no competition to nobody. But they were so friendly. I made some really close friends. One producer he worked with Big Sean. They have some really talented artists coming out of Finland. The high literacy rate is like almost 100%. Extremely intelligent. They speak Finnish. I had great experiences, man. I was going out to the clubs. I'm a nightlife person. And the beginning of the trip didn't start off well because something happened. I went to go see a girl and it didn't work out. But that was the best thing that ever happened to me. Once I started going out, it was just like celebrity status, and I just didn't get it.
So are we talking about Scandinavia now?
Yeah, Scandinavia, Finland.
Okay.
Helsinki is a major city in Finland, and Espoo is the second largest city. And the way the Finnish they're very similar to Swedish. When they drink, they get a little crazy. It's like two different sides of them. But for the most part, I got a lot of love out there. And they were saying, yo, you should check out Sweden because it's so close. And I thought back to that first date I had with that Swedish girl. And I'm like, yeah, maybe I should check it out. So there's a Celia line that takes you over it's a boat that takes you over. I wouldn't say like a boat, cruise liner or something like that called Celia.
Like a ferry, probably a ferry.
It's really big. It's huge, man. It's massive. Kind of like Titanic type thing. Takes you over. I think it was like 50 USD or something like that. And I went to Stockholm, and I was just checking out the clubs. I was running into people, and I had a great time. I had an awesome time, and that's how I was kicked off. From there, I did Sweden, and then I thought about Norway. I hit up Norway. I hit up Denmark in that. I think it was Finland, Sweden, Norway, then Denmark, and they're all different. They all have different personalities, different attitudes. That everybody's different. And this is during the time when they had the I don't know if you remember, they had the refugees from Syria
Mhm.
coming over to Denmark. So I was actually trying to move to Sweden when this happened. And
Mhm.
I told this story before. I almost got married to a Swedish girl because once I got to Sweden,
Mhm.
you know how us guys are, man. When we see something we like, we're simple guys, right? We see
Mhm.
something we like, we just wipe it up, and that's what I did. And fortunately, it didn't work out, but it was a good run. And I came back to the States, but I had that thirst to keep coming back. I went back to Norway. I wanted to experience the culture. Um,
Mhm.
totally different from Sweden, and met another great girl. So I I can't really complain, man. If I met
Mhm.
great women over there, and they were
Mhm.
settled down. I think I was
Mhm.
just too young. But
Okay. All
so
right. So I want to give a shout out to Savage Joker. He just became a member. I really appreciate that, Savage Joker.
mhm.
Appreciate that. So would you say that in these areas of Europe, being a black man and dating, I guess the local foreign women, you get any like cold shoulders or looks or anything like that when you're kind of moving around on your dates, or the
No,
parents accepting of them dating black men?
no, definitely. No, they're very open.
Hmm.
It's very democratic. I won't say liberal, but like for example, now don't quote me on this. They're not so much big on marriage as like we are. They're big on life partnership. So if you date someone, you will start having talk of cohabitation. There is this thing where they sponsor you. It's kind of similar to being married, where if you
Hmm.
live with a girl for about 6 months to a year, she sponsors you, and that's how you get your citizenship. So you have different ways of going about it. Instead of doing the marriage route, they don't really look at marriage the way we do. Traditionally speaking, we look at marriage as a very serious thing. Death do us part,
Hmm.
yada yada yada.
Hmm.
They look at marriage as like, oh, it's just a concept. You know what I mean? Same thing.
Hmm.
Same thing with dating. It's just a concept. They look at our movies and they say, hey, we don't really do it like that. You know, like for
Hmm.
example, you be out with a bunch of friends and a bunch of guys and girls, and you see somebody you like, you hit it off with them, and
Hmm.
like, yo, you just pull off the side, yo, you want to go get a drink at a bar, and that can be considered a date, but they don't call it a date. It's
Hmm.
more organic way to go about it. We do it more interview style. We do it more like, oh, because we're gonna meet at 7, we're gonna put on a face, we're gonna act, be our representative. Over
Hmm.
here is more natural, more organic. You're gonna see the person already who they are in a true natural light. Then
Hmm.
you know,
Okay.
and I even
Okay.
had so yeah, you will end up doing life partnerships with somebody, having kids like that. No marriage.
Wow. Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's
It's
that's
it's
that's
a Swedish name
really
for it.
different.
I was learning Swedish at the time, but I forgot it because my
Hmm.
my Swedish friends, they were putting cue cards on every single thing, and I was upset. I'm like, no, I don't want to learn, but they were teaching me. But there's a name
Hmm.
that they
Hmm.
call it.
Is there like a any Afro population in that area, like Swedish or anything, or it's just mainly Europeans?
Yeah, there's an African population in all areas, very small,
Hmm.
but there's assimilation comes with the African population in all areas. They
I met a brother from Switzerland a couple of weeks ago, and I was just so shocked because that's where he was from. And I'm like, damn, the brother knew like 4 different languages, and I'm like, bro, what? Like they got black people in Switzerland, like what the? So yeah, that's interesting. We everywhere.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of Somalians, guy from people from Ghana, uh,
Hmm.
that particular area of Africa. You'll see
Hmm.
coming over, assimilating, starting a new life. You know what I mean? Uh,
Okay.
so you'll see a lot of mixed African, Swedish. I've even I've ran into this is how I first got to Scandinavia. Period. She was
Hmm.
African and Finnish.
Hmm.
So she's actually in LA right now. She's a lawyer. And that's how I discovered, Finland. That's why I came over there to go see her. So you'll see a
Wow.
mix. Yeah, you'll see a nice mix, and they look great. They look
Okay.
gorgeous.
Okay. So let's fly on, step it on up to Brazil now. All right.
Okay.
Like what's some of the dating cues and dating tips about dating Brazilian women?
Uh, well, my first time actually dating a Brazilian woman was in Playa del Carmen, Mexico,
Mm-hmm.
and we hit it off right off the bat. We had a great date. We had a couple of dates, and I was working remotely, so I ended up planning to stay for 2 weeks, and I ended up staying for a whole month. That's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be in the video I put together. And she kept telling me I never been to Brazil yet. And she kept saying to me, "Oh, you're gonna love Rio. Uh, like if you go to Rio, I'm coming with you. I don't want to steal you away." And
Mm-hmm.
it was a very romantic experience. It's a very loving experience. I would wake up to her waking up, working out 6 in the morning. You know,
Mm-hmm.
she had like a gym in her living room set up. It was wild to me. It was like, yo, she got all these weights, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
S Methodically wake up at 6 a.m. just to work out, and I would wake up to that, and I'm like, "Damn, she's serious about her, fitness."
Yeah, very serious about fitness up there.
Yeah, yeah,
Down
so
there in Brazil, super serious. I was dating a Brazilian Japanese woman, and I used to be like, "Well, you work out so much. Like you don't have to work out. Like there's no more muscles you need to form. Like you already in shape." I mean, I get it, but it was still like an everyday thing for her. It was like a routine.
yeah, I mean, I try to break it down with femininity, friendliness, fitness, and, those are, like, the top 3. So as far as, like, let's say femininity,
Mm,
if you look at face value at a Brazilian woman, right, especially Afro Latin woman,
mm-hmm,
and I think this is because being an American guy, because of your experiences, you are, I wouldn't say traumatized, you are already conditioned, you're already social programmed and socially engineered to be like, all right, this is what she's probably gonna most likely be like. I was culture shocked when I first met an Afro Brazilian woman. That was so bad. And then once I talked to her and we went on a date, I couldn't believe how feminine she was. So it like threw me off. It was almost, I felt like I was on a game show and someone was trolling me. Like some like
mm-hmm,
Ashley was punked. Like, let's see what happens when we, when we give him this very feminine woman. We'll see how he reacts. And I'm all looking around. I'm like, yo, somebody paying you to be this nice to me? Because you look at her face value, you can be like, oh, she's gonna have an attitude. She's gonna be self-centered. She looks too good.
mm-hmm,
You know what I mean? So that was like a huge culture shock. Uh, but as far as like femininity standards and dating dynamics, but if you want to compare that with the Scandinavian woman, it can vary. Norway and Sweden. Um, they have feminism, and now we spoke about this before. They have a different type of feminism, and along with that type of feminism is, yo, I'll pay for it first, like I mentioned before. I'll pay for it first, and you're like,
mm-hmm,
you, what does this come with? Does this come with some strings? And it does it, and it's fine. They're not gonna, if you take a woman out and you say 50-50, she's not gonna dry up like an
mm-hmm,
American woman, but over there, not gonna dry up like it's the Sahara Desert. So
mm-hmm,
their femininity is a little different. They're a little bit more aggressive. They are not afraid to approach you. They feel
mm-hmm,
like they feel like they want equality. They want to do the same thing a man can do. I can approach a man just like a man approaches a woman, right? I
mm-hmm.
pay for a date just like a man can, but they don't hold it against you. You know, so it's a different type of friend. It's a different type of femininity. Um, I'll say it's like 80-20. Uh, You'll have a Brazilian woman that's 100% feminine, but then you have a Scandinavian woman that's 80-20. She's like 20% of her masculine.
Mhm.
You know
I
what I mean?
want to address this comment real quick by Brain Box. There's questions. Are we making a life in these places, buying properties, starting families and companies? Yes, all the above. But let me ask the chat this. So why as black men we gotta be having creating Fortune 500 companies just because we want to travel and live overseas? Everybody else can just travel, enjoy themselves. Everybody travels for dating. I mean, it's normal, men and women of all ethnicities. But when it's black men traveling, we got to be, all types of hustlers and gazillionaires and everything. We do have brothers out here buying properties. My man Zoda's bought a property in Brazil. I
That's
know
true.
plenty of guys that invest in properties and start businesses. But overall, guys should be able to enjoy and travel and do whatever the hell they want to do. But shout out to
Well,
you, Brand Box, for the comment.
well, I'll say, this is with full transparency. I was doing ladies' night on my channel, and I was
Mhm.
empowering women from different countries, and they would be locals, and I would give them
Mhm.
a voice. And I was with a sponsorship, Brazil Friend Finder, and they would sponsor the podcast. So
Mhm.
that was my way of giving to the community. Now I'm not buying property, but you know, that was my way of saying, all right, well, I'm giving them a voice, I'm giving them a platform, and they're getting paid for
Mhm.
it. So I am, I'm not just traveling. I'm giving my way of contributing to the society.
Mhm.
But I would love to get some property in Rio and do like Zoe's doing.
Yeah, man, most definitely. I want to give a shout out to CJ, aka says, "What's the safest country for the passport bros?" I'm gonna say Thailand. Do you have any safe countries you want to mention?
Scandinavia, they all safe, man. If you
Mm-hmm.
talk to the locals there, one of the complaints that they have is that it's too boring.
Mm-hmm.
Not fun like Brazil. They do have a nightlife, but it's not thriving. It's extremely cold. They don't have a beach culture. They do have northern lights. I mean, there's pros and cons. Most of the times, now Thailand is a different exception, and I can't really talk about it because I've never been there.
Mm-hmm.
Most places that are super safe are super boring.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you gotta take the good with the bad. That's just the way
Yeah,
it is.
yeah. Thailand is definitely have a lot to do.
But Thailand is an exception, though.
Yeah, Thailand is definitely an exception because I mean, don't nobody in the world want to go to Bangkok jail. You know what I'm saying? So and it's also a cultural thing in Thailand too, because they're Buddhists, so they believe that whatever they do to someone would be done to them. It's a real dope, laid back culture. I want to give a shout out to my man Wojo. He says the Brazilian feminist movement began mid 19th century when women from several parts of the country started to aim for political and cultural. Okay, I think you got cut off, Joe. I guess with political and cultural reasons. I guess I would say that. But that's very true. I remember when I first went to Brazil in 2017, man, I had a time of my life, rather. And being an American, that was something to be out there in Brazil. Like they got excited when they would meet an American, of course, the Brazilian women. And then I go back in 2022, and it was different. It was real different. You know what I'm saying? The Brazil
Yeah.
I went to, not so much choosing, not so much being impressed by being American,
Mhm.
English being spoken out there. It was just different. Like the vibe was a whole lot different. I mean,
Mhm.
Brazil is a hell of a country, still is. But I just saw how powerful that Islam is. That it could change. I'm just talking about specifically in Rio that
Mhm.
can just change things so quickly. I want to give a shout out to my man Kirby Films. I got a super chat here somewhere. All right, I want to give a shout out to my man D Griff with the $5 super chat. Man, I really appreciate that. He says, I think it's because we expected to be Superman in our culture. I believe that's the response to the earlier comment on if brothers are buying properties and all that stuff. So appreciate the $5 super chat, D Griff. All right. What up, Kirby Films? I see you in the building. That's what I said. Aaron said he like a little fluff. I remember that.
Said a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah. I mean, I'm not big on firmness like that. I mean, I get it. These women are super in shape. It's a super fitness culture
Mhm.
in Brazil. Everybody, and they great to their great grandmama is in super shape out there. But I like a little naturalist. You know what I'm saying? Like my favorite women as far as the phenotype that I like. Not even the phenotype, but just the body style would be like Dominican women. You know,
Yeah.
they just kind of natural. I guess it's maybe the food on the island and their diet. I see a lot of them going to the gym. I know they do probably go to the gym, but for the most part, they just got that nice little island body, nice little softness. It's not like they walking around with full packs or anything like that. So
Hmm.
that's my personal preference. I don't be wanting a chick to beat me in an arm wrestling match. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
You do.
everybody's different, man.
That's true. You do be seeing really thick women in Norway out of all the Scandinavian counterparts. I don't know
Hmm.
what they put in the food, but through my experience, the tallest women are from Sweden. The
Hmm.
thickest ones are from Norway, and then as far as like Copenhagen, you get a
Hmm.
mix. And then Finland is like they look like aliens in a good way. It's like you go to a planet of beautiful aliens. They're very
Hmm.
exotic. They have very distinct looks. Like it's kind of like they had this Asian European thing going on, slanty eyes.
Hmm.
Oh, that's a different phenotypes.
Okay. And where are like the blonde haired, blue eyed women with the nice bodies that you say?
Um, we all know Sweden, but you'll see them in all places. Actually, you'll
Hmm.
get
Okay.
it. I mean, there's a small population African in all places, but as far as like blonde blue, you'll mostly get them in all of Norway.
Hmm.
I wouldn't say Finland as much. They're more on the
Hmm.
dark side. You get the more brunettes, but you
Hmm.
will get Sweden.
No, I should have had that video pulled up that we did last week, so we can show a few little receipts. But I don't think I can. Let me see if I can find one of those videos. Hold on, let me. What's that?
From last time,
Yeah,
the
from last
Australia.
time. Yeah, the Australia video. But I think I got some more clips. Let me get a super chat here by Original Man, $2 super chat. He says any interracial couples in Sweden. You see any
Yeah,
interracial couples in Sweden? Okay.
yeah, of course. I mean,
Was it more black men, white women, or white women,
it's a
black men,
very
white women, or white men, black women?
it's a lot. All these places very homogenous in the sense of like once you go to
Mm-hmm.
Norway, it's all Norwegian people. You
Mm-hmm.
see a few since this, Syrians went over, since the refugee situation, you'll see a few Syrians, see a few Africans, but it's going to be mainly, if you go to Norway, it's Norwegians. If you go to Sweden, it's mostly Swedish people. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but they're accepting, man. Like the family's very accepting. Like the first girl I was telling you I met in New York, I met her family and they were very accepting. They were
Mm-hmm.
wide open, and they have this thing called midsummer.
Mm-hmm.
Every year it gets dark in Sweden. There's summer solstice at 2 a.m. and they have they wear these different garbs and flowers and stuff like that. They celebrate. And they had these celebrations in New York, and I would just go, and I never got bad looks. I never got stared at. It was very inviting because
Okay.
they're very educated. I mean, they coming out of high school, they all know like three different languages. Their geography is better than ours. Their
Mm-hmm.
literacy rate is high. They're highly educated people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really. I wouldn't say there's racism there, to my knowledge.
Okay. I got Cesar Mario in the building says Dubai is super safe and awesome, not boring. Got my man Philip A. Lindsay in the building says BMT travels also Japan. They're giving away free houses if you rehab. That's some good information. I appreciate that. We got Trey Poppy in the building. He says, are there a lot of mulatto or black women in Sweden? Did you see a lot?
Yeah, before that, I mean, Dubai and Thailand, exceptions. They have really good rules and policies in place. So people
Mm-hmm.
act a fool and people act a fool. So they got a nice sweet spot. But you hear a lot of people in Scandinavia, they always say, "Oh, it's boring," and then they get to New York and they lose their minds. So, I guess I'm generalizing when I had said that. Are there a lot of mulatto black women in Sweden? Yeah,
Uh,
you'll see a lot.
mhm.
Yes. I could
I
probably
didn't mean to change coming on you, but have you been to Russia?
no, I was gonna go to Ukraine. I was on a different channel. We were gonna go to Ukraine. We ended up going to Greece, and then my former partner went to Ukraine, and I ended up going to Spain. So
Okay,
I was
okay.
this before the war too. I was this close to going.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna go to Russia right after that, but it never worked out.
Okay,
But I do know a girl from Russia. She's super cool. She's super
okay,
cool. We
cool.
get in touch.
All right, all right. We got 123 in the room, guys. Do me a favor, make sure to hit that like button. Now, sometimes I gotta play devil's advocate every time I do a show with you, bro.
Okay.
Because some people say you're not showing no receipts. They might think you're trying to be a dating coach or international dating coach or something like that. So, do you have any videos or photos or anything that you see in Brazil or Scandinavia or anything? Like, how do we even know you went there, brother? We don't know.
Yeah, I got you, man. I got you.
Okay, okay.
So I'm gonna send this video right now.
Somebody said, are there some Somalian girls in Sweden?
Oh yeah, for sure. There's a big, large population of Somalian girls. And they're gorgeous.
Oh,
They're
that's
cool.
interesting.
Yeah, I
That's
met a few in New York.
okay,
So,
okay. I
yeah,
see. I
yeah.
see a video. You want to just tell me where you want me to stop so you can do your audio on the breakdown.
Yeah, this is the girl, the Afro Latina girl that I said she was just too gorgeous. When I first met her, I was expecting her to have an attitude because I saw her
Mm-hmm.
photos and I was like, man, what am I getting myself into?
Mm-hmm.
Do I need a second option just in case this don't work out?
Mm-hmm.
I just
Mm-hmm.
came with the American mindset and I shouldn't have. So when I met her, I was just blown away from her femininity. So I talk about the differences between Europe and Brazil. This is how I kicked it
Mm-hmm.
off. We're
Okay.
hanging
Okay.
out in Parque Lage in Rio.
Gotcha. So this is Brazil right here.
This is Brazil, yeah. This is Rio.
Okay. Cool.
You might have to, you know what you got to do?
What's that? Because I'm
I'm-
playing.
I got to put it back in. Hold on a second. I got to put it back. Sometimes it does that.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know why. I'll send it again. All right, try now. What is that?
It's open tomorrow 9 a.m.
9 a.m.
and closes 5 p.m.
5 p.m. What's going on, guys? No reservations, Delane Isaac. Today I want to talk about Europe, Scandinavia versus Brazil, the comparisons, particularly with dating dynamics.
Man, you know what, man? I be hating them. Now, what you think about them nose rings? What they call them? Stepping rings?
A lot of guys don't like that, but I think because I lived in Sweden, that's
Mhm.
really big in Sweden. I gotten used to it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I guess nobody's seen that little video about like the germs that accumulate. Like, it's just like the most
Oh, really?
the dirtiest part of your body is like in your nostrils, right below. That's why
Gotcha.
men have hair right here that kind of protects. So it's like,
Right. Protection.
yeah. Let me know in the chat, man, if you like the bull rings. I think they call them septum rings, but let me know in the chat. This is not a shot at her. She's a very beautiful woman.
Yeah,
But
they probably don't like
press 1 if you like them, press 2 if you hate them. Let's continue.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about Brazil first. Now, Brazil, particularly Rio de Janeiro, as you can see, I went on a few dates with her. One of the things I noticed is that she, right off the bat, she had insane femininity. I was really taken back. I was really thinking, is someone paying her to be this feminine. It was almost it threw me off because she looks really extremely attractive. That was like first impression. So this part here is about first impressions, right? With the Brazilian woman, in this case, is the amount of femininity that
Man, that body is off the chain.
exudes from her. Now,
I think Brazilian women, man, and we know we got some baddies in the U.S. as well. Brazilian women, Jesus Christ, man, them bodies is off the chain. I got a super chat from my man Gyro with a $5 super chat, man. I really appreciate that. It says, did you go to any black metal or death metal shows in Scandinavia? Did you visit Gothenburg at all?
so yeah, there was this is by mistake though. The way it is in Scandinavia, they have different events every night. So it's not like hip hop every night, Friday, and it's R&B Saturday. They have people who are playing, they have different events. And I actually went to a wrong place in Gothenburg. Actually, Gothenburg, I actually prefer over Stockholm because they are really big into jazz, R&B, hip hop. They just have a real sense of that type of music, and that's right up my alley. And I accidentally went to this place, and then it was like heavy metal or death or something like that. And I just stuck around because I was just curious, it piqued my interest, and I was open. I'm very open minded, very open to different cultures, and it was. I mean, it wasn't my type of music, but it was fun to experience and say I did it. Check it out. The people were really cool. A lot of high energy. Um, but they have very themed nights. But they have this place they have a few places in Gothenburg called Nefertiti, where they have all hip hop, and it's pretty much like if you're a brother, you might as well just go there. They have a place called Lounges, where it's kind of like a top 40 type place, very luxury style, but it's chill, down to earth. Uh,
Okay.
they got really good nightlife in Gothenburg, man. I preferred it over Stockholm. But Stockholm has some really good nightlife as well.
Okay, cool.
If I want to make that comparison to the femininity from a Scandinavian woman, like in like the Norwegian woman that we see here, she also had femininity, but it was quite different. She's a little bit rougher. I would say a little bit more masculine, but not to the point where it's overbearing. It's more like 80-20. And the Brazilian woman was 100% femininity. It was 80-20 with her. I would say it's 80-20. That makes a lot of sense. If you'll notice in Scandinavian countries, feminism.
Happy birthday to you. So just finished my twerk tonight.
It's not like feminism in the States. It's more where, hey, I'll pay half, you pay half, but I'll still.
You say something, bro? My bad.
This is she's actually Norwegian, and when I went to Denmark, I had met her, and she's extremely thick. She's actually got thicker now, but at the time, she was like, man, wow, I didn't even know they built like that. So I met her.
Okay.
I'll still be cool with you, but if you pay half and you pay 50-50 in the States, that's all right. They're going to dry up like the Sahara Desert. But in Scandinavia, that's not the case. They're not going to dry up. It's normal. I've had times where a girl wanted to fight me over paying for the coffee. I was like, no, I got it. They're like, nah, you got it. I was like, all right, fine, you got it. And I remember that was the first time I dated a Swedish girl. So that blew my socks away. I was going to say blew me. But so femininity was number one. What I noticed with this Brazilian girl in this particular clip was she's super tall. Now we all know height is there's a heightism in dating dynamics in the United States. This is completely disappears in Brazil.
Hold on now. You said the height is in Brazil. That's the height for men.
Yeah, they don't. Well, my experience, they don't care about the height, man. Because this girl's
Mhm.
taller than me, and she never spoke about it. We never talked about it. She don't care. Didn't
Okay.
bother her at all.
Okay. All
And
right.
you know,
All
in
right.
the States, like girls, like I want a guy that's my height or more because if they wear
Yeah,
heels,
they want guys like 6 foot and up more.
it's like the cutoff, or they wearing heels that's 3 inches taller. You got girls in
Mhm.
the States that's like 5'5", and they want somebody that's 6'2". So
Yeah,
this is
they
like
they 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 definitely have their preferences.
yep. Mhm.
But we can't. American men are not allowed to have any preferences. To keep that in mind, you're not allowed to have any preferences. You gotta take her as she is, or you are a hate monger.
Oh man. 6'1.5", so she was taller than me, and that was a non-factor. It was like non-existent at all. Not a problem at all. Now let me think. Can I think about that? I have spoken to a few Scandinavian girls, and height is not a big deal as well. There are a lot of tall girls in Sweden. I wouldn't say Norway; they're a little bit shorter. Copenhagen, you get a little bit of a mix, but you get some tall ones in Sweden, man. I don't know why. They just tower, man. I come to think of it, some of the girls that I met in Sweden, they were all like 5'10". I do like taller girls, but I'm not going to discriminate. But so yeah, the first part is femininity. The second part is height, and I'm just going off the cuff. I'm breaking this all down for you guys, but yeah, the height is a big thing. I can remember this girl was tall in Norway, Sweden. They're all also one thing you notice if you're dating somebody in Scandinavia, they all have cabins that they all go away and do like cabin parties. I thought that was really
Mm.
cool. I never experienced that, and that's one of my regrets.
So hold
Um,
on. Let's go back to, was that a cabin party that was you was at earlier in the stream? I think it was maybe a little bit before this when she was yeah, right here. Was that a cabin party?
no, that was I never been to one,
Okay.
but she's can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you. I just got it on mute while you're talking.
Oh, okay, so yeah, that was just her twerk. She's a twerker. She teaches women how to twerk, and
Mhm.
yeah, she was just getting down.
Okay.
But they all have cabins that they go away, and it's like a tradition. I think what they do is like they pass it down to their
Mhm.
kids, and I think that's pretty cool, man. So if you're always gonna meet
So you
somebody,
you, you, you like the only brother at that party. You good?
you will go into a spot and you be the only brother, man. Like I remember
Mhm.
I took my Nigerian American friend to Sweden and Stockholm, this place called Hornhuset. It's
Mhm.
being Swedish for horny house, and it's just a hip hop club.
Mhm. Mhm.
We went there and it was insane, man. They came up to us and they were like, "Oh, where you guys from? London?" No, we're from the States. And then afterwards, another girl came up. Hey, where you from? It was at a point where we were counting, like, yo, did 7 girls come up to you? So because it was a rare. I don't know what it's like now, but being Black American is rare. I don't know
Mhm.
if it's as rare as now, but it's pretty progressive. So they were
Okay.
just very curious, and then like I said, their feminism is like, hey, I want to be like a man. I want to come up to you. I want to be show my interest. So they're not afraid to come up to you.
Mm. Feels
The
good to be exotic, right?
Well, the Swedish guys are not as aggressive unless they're drinking. They have a problem with the Swedish men not being aggressive enough. You know,
Mhm.
so it's too late. They're drunk and they just incoherent. It's not really attractive. So, you know, they're basically taking on a role that the man is not doing in most cases.
Oh, okay, I got you. I want to give a shout out to my man Daryl once again with $2 super chat. He says, "Attack on Titan." Shout out to my man Daryl. He also says, "I know Florida is playing in the background." What type of music do they listen to out there, bro? Is it like
Um,
techno?
they're always behind, right? Like, for example, whatever's hot, like is Drake puts out something, Future puts out something, they're gonna be getting it 6 months from now. But they love like 90s, the old early 2000 joints. It's like they just in
Okay.
a time capsule or something. Not complaining, it's great music. There's some great music during that time. So
You know what? I got a video. I got to finish the vlog about it. By the way, family, for all my guys that like my vlogs, I have to separate them because you do them together, you kind of mess up the algorithm. We do lives and vlogs, and interviews and stuff. So I do have a vlog channel. Let me just put this up real quick. The reason I say that, man, is because I was in a bar in Colombia, right? And you know how you have people that have all the album covers like on the walls and stuff, and they specifically picked pretty much in my eyes the golden age of hip hop, right? You had Lauryn Hill up there, Tupac up there, Biggie up there, and then you're like wondering like, damn, how y'all know about this type of hip hop? And you're right, like overseas, they are in somewhat of a time capsule. They do get the music much later than we get it in the States, but they gravitate toward the older early 2000s, 90s music. Like the majority of music you hear as hip hop in Colombia is not like the new, like I haven't heard like no Future, no new Drake or anything unless I'm on the internet somewhere. I don't even know the hit songs in the last probably 2 years right now. But they're still listening to Outkast. And I mean, even in the barrio, bro, out here in Colombia,
yeah,
you in the barrio in a little rinky-dink bar somewhere,
yeah,
and you will hear Outkast or you will hear Big. They love Biggie out here. Like they
yeah.
real big Biggie. I think Latinos in general love Biggie because of his voice inflection. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's just real dope. But guys, that's my blog channel, BMT TV. We got 13 subscribers. I just dropped 2 videos in Brazil. So guys, do me a favor, go ahead and sub to your boy right there. Let's continue with the video.
Order. Copenhagen, you get a little bit of a mix, but you get some tall ones in Sweden, man. I don't know why. They just tower, man. I come to think of it, some of the girls that I met in Sweden, they were all like 5'10". I do like taller girls, but I'm not going to discriminate. But so yeah, the first part is femininity. The second part is height, and I'm just going off the cuff. I'm breaking this all down for you guys, but yeah, the height is a big thing. I can remember this girl was tall in Norway, Sweden. They were all like hovering around 6 feet. It's insane. What else are things I can make a comparison? I noticed with the Afro-Latin women, they have a certain type of naturality to them. What I love about this is they believe in being natural. Like the Afros, I love when an Afro-Latin woman wears her hair naturally. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Did you want it to stop that?
My bad, bro. It was boring out a little bit on my side. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Can you guys hear? Can you hear?
I can hear you, but
You there? You there, Delane? You there?
I'm here. Your video froze.
Hold on. I think we bored out a little bit. Can nobody hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, it's me frozen.
Oh man, looking at these comments. Yeah, I just dropped my channel in the chats. I'm not sure if you can hear me or not. So it's playing right now. Guys, if you can hear me, just put a 1 in the chats. If you can hear me, put a 1 in the chats if you can hear me. EMT is frozen. All right, so they can hear me. Okay, damn. Hold on now. Hold up. All right, so I'm gonna wait till BET gets back. But I'll play it. I'll just keep it going, guys.
Sweden, they're all like hovering around 6 feet. It's insane. What else about this is they wear a lot of makeup, but some do, some don't, and it's like this.
Guys, I'm going to Rio. We'll be doing lives in person. I'm definitely gonna see her again. Yeah, she definitely
This
creating a
place
lot.
for just being natural, just being natural, just being natural. And you could see in this video, this girl, she didn't wear any makeup at all.
I'll just say, like all the girls I showed, this girl had a lot of wifely qualities. She's very classy, refined, and I don't know where she got that from. I don't know if she went
No,
to
I still
school
can't
for
hear
it.
anything.
Yeah, they can hear me
We're
though.
on the beach, we're hanging out. She's Brazilian from Rio, and I don't remember her wearing makeup, not too much, and I didn't even notice.
I can't
So
hear anything. I don't have no audio.
let's talk about
It just
makeup.
dropped on me.
In Scandinavia, they wear more
Yeah, we can't hear you.
makeup. If you're into that, if that doesn't bother you, then that's the difference between the differences in Rio and Scandinavia as far as like the makeup is concerned. I mean, let's talk about fitness. I would say this is interesting enough. In Brazil, particularly Rio, they have a big fitness culture, obviously, right? But in Scandinavia, they have a fitness culture as well. You can see all the girls that I show, they all fit. They all fit. Now let's bring it back to being friendly. I would say Brazil takes the nod over being friendly, because as a culture in Scandinavia, to walk around and to go to a stranger is not really normal. You can't just walk up to somebody and say hello. I mean, they will say hello back because they're nice people, but it's more the norm in Brazil. It's more of a warm culture. Pun intended, because it's warm as well. But you know, for example, I remember I was on this bus in Norway, and it was almost like a morgue, man. It's a morgue in there. It was almost like you would think someone died. No one was talking to each other. It was just straight people just looking into dead spaces, that 1,000-yard stare. Nobody was having conversations. It was almost weird, but that's their culture. You know, I didn't want to bring my American ways and bring it over there and just be like, yo, what's wrong with people? I just wanted to assimilate into their culture and just, you know, just embrace it. Like, all right, this is the way they're going to do it. Cool. I'm just going to chill. I'm going to take my moment of time and be to myself and be quiet and relax. So yeah, that's some of the breakdowns, guys. I'm going to keep this short. But shout out to BMT for having me on these videos and doing these podcasts with him. Let's keep it going.
All right. All right, guys. So I just talked to BMT. He just called me up. He said that we're going to end the stream because he's having audio difficulties. He apologizes. So I hope you enjoyed the talk, and make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'll put it in the chats. And appreciate y'all for tapping in. I'll talk to y'all later. Also, me and BMT, we're gonna do a channel with date nights. If you guys are familiar with me or not, we have a bunch of locals on from different places of the world. We chop it up with them. So me and BMT, we're gonna give that a shot. So look out for that too. All right, y'all take it easy. Peace.
Okay, my bad, bro. My audio just got back on me. I'm looking and hooking back up.
It's all good. I was just telling them what you just told me.
Okay. Well, guys, once again, man, it's been a great show. My man Delane just broke it down. We got Scandinavia versus Brazil, man. So make your choices. Get your passports. As you can see, Passport Bros show receipts, and we win it, man. All right. Peace.